Welcome to the Man of Recaps. This is Silo, Season 1. Welcome to The Silo, your classic post-apocalyptic underground bunker. This one, as its name implies, is a narrow cylinder that goes straight down. Our story begins with a couple who's just been cleared to have children. There's strict population controls in the silo, so all women have a birth control implant, but now Allison gets hers taken out, so these two get busy making a baby. But as the days go by and she doesn't get pregnant, Allison worries it's not going to happen. Now she's approached by a weird old lady who claims to be a fertility expert. While they talk, she leaves her water running so the mysterious they can't listen in. Yeah, she's a crazy conspiracy nut who tells Allison the powers that be don't want people like you having kids. By people like you, she means curious people who wonder why they're living in a silo and what happened to the outside world, questions most people just ignore. Yeah, no one knows why they're here. Their history was lost in a big rebellion over 100 years ago when the rebels deleted all the hard drives. Allison, in fact, works in IT and is a data recovery expert. Today she gets called to help unlock this mysterious hard drive, which turns out has a bunch of old files on it, including a blueprint of the silo. This kind of knowledge is super illegal, but now Allison's curiosity is piqued and she watches video of a cleaning. On every floor they have a big screen that shows the video feed from outside, but over time it gets all dirty. And that's their capital punishment here. They send people outside to clean it, then die. But in this secret video, Allison sees that the outside world is perfectly fine. Now she also learns crazy old lady was right. The doctor faked taking out her birth control. So she runs out to spread the truth. Wake up, sheeple, the view screen's a lie. Unfortunately, she sounds like a crazy person. And so she says the magic words, I want to go out. Yes, that's the most sacred law here. Anyone can leave anytime you want, but once you say it, you can't take it back. There's a whole ritual, he reads. We don't know why we are here. We don't know when it will be safe to go outside. We only know today is not that day. And so it's a tearful farewell as Sheriff Holston Becker sends his wife out to clean. A cleaning is an exciting event. Everyone gathers around to watch. And even when people say they won't, they always end up cleaning. Then a few moments later, everyone who goes out always dies. So if the world really is fine outside, something weird is going on. 2 years later, Sheriff Becker has been depressed and finally resolves to trust his wife. I want to go out too. And this time we see what he sees. The outside world is totally fine. He figures the people need to know, and so he goes to clean that lens, hoping that'll somehow show them the truth. But all they see is what they always see. He dies next to his wife. A little bit earlier, a case came in about George Wilkins, the guy with the hard drive that his wife helped. He just died falling off a railing, assumed suicide, but one of his coworkers says he was murdered. So Holston goes all the way down to engineering to meet the real main character of the show, badass engineer Juliette Nichols. Turns out George Wilkins was Juliette's boyfriend, so she doesn't believe he would kill himself. He was a collector of illegal relics from the before times, like this Pez dispenser, which no one has any idea what it is. In fact, he discovered a secret tunnel down to the bottom of the silo where the big drill apparently stopped. Down here he hid the hard drive that made Holston's wife want to go outside. Holston resolves to uncover the truth. I'll send you a message when I find something. But Juliette never saw Holston again until he went out for his cleaning. So now it's up to the grumpy old deputy and the nice mayor to pick a new sheriff. But Holston had already chosen his replacement, engineer Juliette Nichols. This is very unorthodox, but they figure they better give her the job, because if they don't, Judicial Branch will nominate their own candidate. Judicial is the secret police, led by the super cool Robert Sims. So the mayor and deputy head down to engineering, which turns out is a full day's journey down 200 flights of stairs. Elevators are specifically not allowed. It's like, hey, Juliette, you were nominated sheriff, but she's like, what? Why? No. But Holston also left her his badge where he engraved truth. That's her sign. So Juliette accepts the job, but first there's a problem down here. Their generator's finally gonna go kaput. And it's the most intense scene of the show as they repair this thing before the pressure builds and it explodes. But they fix this thing just in time, and it's the people here in the down deep that actually keep the silo running. On their journey, the deputy and mayor finally admitted they love each other, but just then Mayor Johns dies. Oh, she was poisoned. According to the law, the interim mayor is the head of IT, this nerdy guy Bernard, who has no interest in being mayor. And he has some beef with Juliette. When engineering ran out of heat tape, she stole some from IT, and he's holding a massive grudge. But he also doesn't want Judicial taken over, so he agrees to work with Juliette. Now the deputy assumes he was the target because he was drinking from the mayor's water bottle, and it seems he was right because someone comes to finish the job. Now Judicial gets more involved in the case and appoints a new deputy, Paul Billings, who was their pick for sheriff. He used to work at Judicial, and Sims gives him a lead on a suspect, this funny old criminal guy that the deputy had some history with. But Billings isn't just a judicial plant, he's actually a pretty good guy who loves doing things by the book. The book, in this case, being The Pact, the silo's code of laws that Billings has pretty much memorized. But Juliette doesn't do things by the book. In fact, she breaks into that suspect's apartment before going in officially. She discovers some way too convenient evidence and realizes Judicial's setting this guy up. But Judicial messed up, the housing records were outdated, that guy doesn't even live there anymore. So when Judicial goes to fix their mistake, mistake, Juliette's waiting for him, catches one of their goons red-handed. She chases this guy around the silo, which involves a ton of stairs. But he plays the reverse card and tries to throw her off the railing. But Juliette has impressive upper body strength and manages to pull herself up. So this goon is in big trouble. Sims is like, look, everyone thinks we're the bad guys, but we're the ones keeping the silo safe. Are you willing to sacrifice everything for the good of the silo? Yes, sir. Good. And Sims pushes this guy off the stairs. Oh, ice cold. They pin the murders on that one goon. He was acting alone, a disgruntled guy. And the head of judicial, Judge Meadows, is like, well, case closed. But Juliette needs that case back opened, and so she plants some evidence of her own. She puts the Pez dispenser in that goon's apartment, and now that he had a dangerous relic, it's cause to keep investigating. She finds the lady from the beginning who's being kept drugged up here under personal order from Judge Meadows. So Juliette confronts Judge Meadows, but soon finds she's not the mastermind. She's not in charge of anything. She's just the official face of judicial. It's Sims himself who's running things. So to talk to that woman, she needs a doctor, and luckily she knows one. It's her father. But Juliette hates her dad because her mom was a real smart lady who invented a microscope. But magnification beyond a certain point is the most illegal thing in the silo. Second, of course, only to the most illegal thing, elevators. So Judicial came in and broke her microscope, but nobody knew about it outside of the family, and her mom figured it was her husband who turned her in. This led to her killing herself, and Juliette rightfully blamed her father. She forged her dad's signature to transfer to engineering, and funny old engineering lady became her adopted mother. But her dad wants to make amends, and so he helps break this woman out so Juliette can interview her. She was part of the resistance, the Flamekeepers, who sought out relics to keep history alive. Unfortunately, her best history book was this kid's travel guide to Georgia, which I guess is impressive if you've never seen any nature before. The former sheriff came to visit her and left her flowers in front of her mirror. Just like the flowers in his apartment, he also put in front of the mirror, and maintenance conveniently broke the vase. So maybe Juliette's being paranoid, but she decides to cover the mirror, and indeed, Judicial's watching from a high-tech security room. And now that she knows everyone's being watched, she realizes her dad didn't turn in her mom. So it was here in this woman's hospital room that Holston hid the hard drive. But now Judicial knows she has it and searches the sheriff's office looking for it. This makes Billings real mad. It's a huge violation of the pact. His sworn duty is not to Judicial, but to the pact itself, so he arrests Sims for unlawful search. Of course, once everyone leaves, Juliette then illegally searches his office. The Mayor Bernard's like, what's going on? So she takes him out where they can't be overheard to explain that Sims and Judicial are staging a coup. But he's like, yeah, I know, because he's working with Sims. In fact, it's Sims who works for him. Bernard is the true secret ruler of the silo. They claim that she said she wants to go out, and Paul Billings is starting to realize Judicial might be the bad guys. But if he gets involved, he has a lot to lose. He's got a wife and a new baby. He's also hiding a massive secret. He has the syndrome, a thing where his hand shakes, and if anyone found out, he'd lose his job. In fact, right now it's acting up, so Juliette's able to break free and escape. Now Sims knows about his syndrome, but he doesn't fire him. He's gonna name him the new sheriff, but he'll basically own him. So he searches Juliette's apartment, finds that Georgia travel book, and oh wow, it's so beautiful, he decides to keep his favorite page before he destroys the evidence. They're expecting her to go to the down deep, so Juliette seeks help from new friends. There's a guy she met in the cafeteria who likes looking at stars, even though no one remembers what stars are. In fact, these two were maybe flirting, but Juliette's still mourning George Wilkins, and so she shuts him down. So she goes to him for help decoding this illegal hard drive, but he doesn't want to get involved with this, and so he shuts her down. And even though he cooperated fully, Bernard still sends him to 10 years working in the mines. Sucks to be this guy. But Juliette finally does get help from Funny Criminal, who knows a funny computer hacker. On the drive, she finds a message from George Wilkins. I love you, baby. Sorry I'm dead. But I got big news. I found what I was looking for. The tunnel at the bottom of the silo. Juliette tried to go down there earlier, but the bottom's completely flooded with water, which is a big problem because no one in the silo knows how to swim. Now he says the water is nothing to worry about. You wanna be more specific? But the big find here is the main video that shows the outside world is habitable. Judicial, of course, is hot on her tail, but Juliette's found a way to avoid their cameras. She's crawling through the trash chute. Eventually, they realize this and try to knock her down, so Juliette's gotta take the express down to the down deep. Now, her friends here would never turn her in, except they immediately do. Head engineer guy's like, we can't stop them. If we resist, we'll just make things worse. So Bernard finally smashes that drive and arrests Juliette in a big display to remind everyone who's in charge, which might have the opposite effect and foment rebellion in the down deep. So Juliette's being sent out to clean, and Bernard's like, hey, I'm sorry about this. If you knew what I know, you'd realize I'm the good guy here. All right, well, what do you know? What's the big secret we gotta suppress our entire history for? But of course, Bernard ain't saying nothing. So it's another cleaning ceremony. We don't know why we are here. We don't know when it'll be safe to go outside. We only know that day is not this day. So as Juliette goes outside, she sees what we've seen before. The outside world is a really nice place. But she's realized cleaning the lens obviously doesn't do anything, and so in protest, she she does not clean, which causes a bit of a stir. At the spot the sheriff and his wife died are a suspicious couple of rocks, and so Juliette discovers the twist. What she's seeing is the lie, apparently impressive VR technology in the suit's helmet. The outside world really is uninhabitable, that's why people always die. But Juliette does not, she gets back up, which causes even more of a stir. Her maintenance mom thought it was weird that Bernard was so obsessed with Juliette stealing the IT's tape, because the tape from IT that they used to seal up the outside suits is intentionally defective. She has a phobia of leaving her apartment, but she braves it for Juliette. She calls in a favor with a friend in supply to swap that tape for the good stuff, so her suit holds firm and Juliette can survive out here. It's a big emergency for Bernard, who pulls out a mysterious key and opens a mysterious door. As Juliette makes it to the top of the ridge, she gets out of range of the illusion and sees the world as it truly is, which is bad. But there's one final big revelation. As we pan out from the silo, turns out it's just one of many silos all around it. And that's where Silo Season 1 comes to an end. If you liked this recap, hit that subscribe button for more of the best recaps of TV and movies.